And I've worked on this issue for the last 10 to 15 years. I actually published a paper, Unified Theory of Alzheimer's Disease, which is Alzheimer's. Most people think it's the cause is age, but the real cause of Alzheimer's is actually neuroinflammation and our lifestyle. And so the reason age is correlated to it is just because it takes decades to develop disease. But neuroinflammation can be caused by many things. It can be caused by excessive fear, by fear-mongering. Neuroinflammation can be caused by bacteria, by viruses, by infection, chronic infections.
Yes.
So it was shown that in order that the hippocampus, it's our autobiographical memory center, which is the center where Alzheimer's starts, needs to be functional, something which we call adult hippocampal neurogenesis, a permanent production of new nerve cells, which have many, many functions we need to talk about. They are essentially our mental immune system. And if this production is essentially shut down, then our mental immune system breaks down and we are free for everything. I mean, we can be conquered and we would even accept it. And so I was working on this mental immune system and how.
So you're describing a physical,
it's physical.
Exactly, it's physical. This is not emotional. This is not the product of propaganda. You're saying that the way that your brain functions as a physical matter can be changed to make you more controllable.
Emotions essentially change the way the brain works, and strong emotions, fear, for example, particularly in a situation where your mental immune system is down, meaning that your psychological resilience is down. It leads to a very strong effect in the brain, kind of a neurotoxic effect, leakage of molecules out of the neurons, which are recognized by immune cells in the brain. And this recognition leads to an activation of an immune response, a very strong immune response, activating cytokines, pro-inflammatory cytokines, and they attack the hippocampus, our autobiographical memory center, shutting down essentially many, many functions like, for example, curiosity, like, for example, psychological resilience. It drops, meaning that everything that happens leads to an increased rate of depression. And it shuts down, which I've shown recently and which I've put in my book, it shuts down our ability to think. So if you really want to transform a brain, so first it's a two-step process. First, you block the neurogenesis, the production of new nerve cells in the hippocampus. Then you come up with the stories you want to install. But since they have to come with an emotion, you can't come with the same story every day. You have to change the story day by day. You have to come up with new stories with the same intent. Something is breaking down, the world is shut down, everything is dangerous, I'm losing my job because immigration, my family might be killed because we have an atomic war based on these local wars. We have the war against climate change, everybody will drown because the water will rise. All these stories come up day by day. Actually, the World Economic Forum has a program, a brochure they bring out every January, and they talk about permacrisis, and they have hundreds of points, and they are actually listed in my book, what they have in mind or in their background where we can start the next crisis. We need to change the story so that at the end of the day, your personal history is overwritten by these fear-mongering stories. And you have to change it, otherwise it doesn't work. If you want to install, and this is all about installing a new operating system, in your introduction you said, you didn't say it, but it's like an artificial intelligence controlled society by a social scoring system. And I call it in my book, let's say an evil social operating system, which you can actually abbreviate by SOS, quite nicely. It means something else, but we know where it ends. And so if that's the plan, and you alluded to it, and I'm pretty sure everybody who reads Schwab's book knows what's going on and what they are intending, then it's clear you have to create a situation where there's no other fence anymore. There's no fence where you can see the grass is green on the other side. Look at other dictatorships, fascism in Germany, Stalinism, whatever.
Yes.
There was always a fence, a border where it was different on the other side. But we have to think here global. If everybody is attacked, then there is no border, there is no other side, there is no way, no place you can hide, no place you can go. But there's another border in your brain, the brain of history. You know it was different in the past. But once you start overriding the past, then even this border is gone. There is no way you can. There is no refuge anymore. Nothing you can go back to and think about. Okay, it was different in the former times. We have to get back to that place, to this time. We have to change something.
Yes.
And the ability to change something comes with individuality. Creativity, individuality are closely linked. But what's happening here is we destroy individuality. That means we destroy the creative power of humanity. And then we just follow the rules that the artificial intelligence.
So you're really describing a kind of mass Alzheimer's. I mean, with no, because a person without memory isn't fully a person.
Yeah, I give you another word for that. It's, you see, the ability to think, there was a Nobel Prize given for that actually in 2002 to Daniel Kahneman, a psychologist. The Nobel Prize was in economics. How do we come to decisions in difficult times, so to speak? That was the Nobel Prize. Of course, it was for businesses. But nevertheless, he described a mental energy that we need to activate thinking. And in my book, I describe what this mental energy is. It comes from the production of these new nerve cells. So if you shut down the ability to think, then you are stuck with the non-thinking brain, which he called System 1. So System 2 is the thinking brain. System 1 is our default action during the day, which doesn't require any energy. We call System 1. Another Nobel Prize winner who was trying to find out where our consciousness is, and our conscious is in the brain, Francis Crick, he got the Nobel Prize for discovering DNA. He published a paper in 2003 with Koch, his colleague, and he said System 2 is great that we have it. It's essentially the motor of our society, the thinking ability.
Yes.
But it's also good to have System 1, which allows us in standard situations to actually react in a way that doesn't cost any mental energy. And he named the System 1 the zombie mode.
Zombie mode.
Zombie mode. So if you are not able to engage System 2 anymore, and that's what my book describes, under the attack of the virus and the fear-mongering and a lifestyle that's not very healthy, then of course we are stuck in a zombie mode, and I really fear the zombie society very much.
A couple of questions. What does this do to religious faith, which was at the center of all societies until the Second World War? Does a zombie mode, does a zombie population have religious faith?
I'm not sure. If you are religious to begin with, you certainly will be the drive will be still religious belief. But again, religious belief is based on memory. And if memory is overwritten, well, I think I gave you already the answer.
Yes. Hey, it's Tucker Carlson. The internet is crowded with interesting things that don't really matter. On TCN, we attempt to bring you interesting things that actually do matter, and a lot of them. Interviews, long form and short, videos, documentaries. You can find all of it on tuckercarlson.com, and we hope you will.